You have this film Marshall, which is about Thurgood Marshall. And this isn't a conventional biopic that starts in Baltimore when he's 6 years old.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly small slice of his life. Which is a pretty interesting choice, especially given that the main subject of the film is a case where we couldn't even really see his full skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's sort of silenced in this film by a white judge in New York who won't give him permission to speak.
So yeah, somebody says, here's the script, you know, where Thurgood Marshall is the lead. It's not just about Thurgood Marshall, it's about the case. But here's the Thurgood Marshall movie. You're like, okay, I'm gonna have these great speeches. I can use all of my classical training and
nature,
and make it theatrical in the courtroom, and you don't really have that here.
Not at all.
And so it becomes a thing of, how do I subtly and silently lead in this film, which to me is more difficult than having the lines. You know, you're finding yourself in an intense, concentrative, meditative state, being completely present when usually you'd be like, oh, they're not on my shot, they're not thinking about me. You really, I was like, I had to plan a lot of that.
Right.
And so I love it when I look at a script and I find those things that are like, oh, whoa, that's there. I know all the rest of this is here, but that's there. And that's the most interesting thing. Like, a script very often, I think, will give you A and C, or even A and D, and you fill in the gap. You're like,
oh, right.
Where this gap is the truth, actually.